personal obligations. I just want to speak extemporaneously for a moment. I didn't write my speech, but I just want to make some comments about how I got involved in this wonderful movement, in the struggle, because I do think, looking back retroactively, I think there was a divine providence that brought me into this. So it was very interesting. I've known about Biafra for some years. I knew about the indigenous people of Biafra. The IPOB was not involved. One day, by complete accident, online, when doing some research, I came across this Biafra Republic Government Exile website, and I was very surprised. I thought to myself, when did a Biafra government come into being? So I clicked on the website. I looked through it. I became more and more interested. And then I came across a profile of Simon Ekpa, and I thought, who is this Prime Minister Ekpa? And yeah. So I became more and more intrigued. I went to his Wikipedia. I read it, talking about all the work he's doing, how he's based in Finland, and I became more and more intrigued. I was like, this is such an interesting person. I have to find out what's going on here. So I sent an email to the general email of the Biafra Republic Government Exile website, just saying that I was interested in learning more about the organization, because I was genuinely curious. This seemed very fascinating to me. And I received back an email personally from the Prime Minister saying he wanted to speak with me. So we spoke for the first time, and I was immediately impressed. I saw how brilliant he was. I saw that he was a visionary leader. I saw that he knew he was doing, how tactical he was. But most important, I saw that he had the special, intangible qualities of a leader and a historic leader. And I immediately knew there's something very special here. And this is something I've experienced with. I've dealt with leaders, presidents, prime ministers all over the world of different countries. My own family, I come from a revolutionary family in Greece where we've had many generations of freedom fighters. So I have a good instinct when it comes to who has leadership qualities. And I could tell, okay, this person has something very special. And if I work with him, I think we could actually achieve what he wants to achieve. Yeah. Yes. So over time, over many months, we developed a very close personal relationship. And also, he saw something in me, and he said, I really want you to get involved in this. I want you to be part of this cause. And so I began formally my lobbying representation in June this year, and I think in a few months, we've changed the course of history. So I think there are larger forces at play, and I'm very glad that divine providence has brought me into this and will see us through this and to the goal that we want to achieve. And when I first started this journey, when I first was presented by the Prime Minister
with the organization of the Biafrans has been absolutely and completely admirable. You are not simply symbolically declaring independence. You are setting in motion a government which can take over all functions of the government. Now, some people may complain that Biafra now has its own army, and they may say that is a terrorist action. They are wrong. It is the job of any government to monopolize the use of force within its territory. The Nigerian army is the occupying army right now. Its job is not to monopolize the use of force within Biafra, because they have shown when they use force, they use it not for security, but to perpetrate insecurity. They use it to murder, they use it to rape, they use it to charter buses, to bring in militias, so that naive people may believe that they have nothing to do with what is going on in the region. Now, I'm a historian by training, which means I get paid to predict the past. Also, speaking of pay, let me be clear. I am receiving nothing for my advocacy for Biafra. I have been offered nothing. I have demanded nothing, and I am receiving nothing. Nor would it even be legal for me to accept money from anyone. I am speaking only as an analyst and only as someone who wants to further liberty. Now, I ask as a historian, where has it worked to force the victims of genocide together with their perpetrators? Where in history has that ever worked? Aggressors must understand that if they turn to genocide, they will always lose. The fact of the matter is, Nigeria lost Biafra in 1967. They may have won the war temporarily, but they permanently lost Biafra. The decisions they made 57 years ago forfeited any rights they have to control, to occupy, to speak on behalf of the people of Biafra. Let me conclude by saying, as an analyst again, I don't think the United States will be the first country to recognize Biafra. But I pray that it won't be the third country either. Biafra to move from Finland and to lobby vociferously night and day in order to ensure that the African Union recognizes that Biafra is already more organized, already more capable of statehood, already will have a higher standard of living, already will be at peace with itself and its neighbors more than many other African countries. And therefore, it will be a boon to Africa, a boon to the African Union, a boon to the spread of democracy in the region, an anchor for stability in the region, in an area that is increasingly unstable, especially as people come from the north in order to destabilize.